Welcome to Talk About It Thursday, where I am your host, Karen Bailey. I would love to say hello to you guys. If you can hop on, just give me a hello and I will acknowledge you. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. I know this week we're expecting some pretty rough weather this weekend, so I'm not going to keep you guys long because I know we need to get prepared for that. We need to check on our loved ones and just make sure everybody's good and make sure everybody has what they need. So last week, you guys, our topic was so much. You know, we have so much that we've been through in the last year, so much that we've seen, so much we've tolerated, but we also have so much to be thankful for. So I hope you guys really took that to heart and really took some time to think over your life and think about how blessed you are and how much God has covered you and how much God has kept you in this past year. And we have no reason not to believe that God won't have our back in 2026. You guys, I wanted to speak on a topic that's near and dear to my heart because I found myself wasting time, wasting years in places where I really didn't belong. So my topic today is find your door, sis. You know, girl, you weren't made to wait at doors that were already closed by God. God has already opened the one with your name on it. You just have to believe it. You know, a lot of times we do things because it's popular. We hang around certain people because those people seem like they have it going on. But that does not mean that that is your door, that that is your tribe, that that is the place you belong. And so when I say the word door, I mean the set place that God has for you, where you grow, where you prosper, where you feel like you're making the most difference. That's what I mean when I say, sis, find your door. Find that place where you belong. Because a lot of times we are in places where we are just tolerated, where we're not celebrated. You know, Joyce Meyer used to say that all the time. And also there was another female pastor, hey, Marilyn, out of Houston, that used to say all the time, you know, don't stay where you're tolerated. Stay where you're celebrated. You know, because a lot of times the enemy wants to make you feel small. A lot of times he wants you to think that you don't matter. But that's why it's so important that you know that you're in the right place, dealing with the right people, doing the right thing. So that's what I want to talk about today. Because oftentimes we find ourselves in places where we're begging for somebody to love us, where we're accepting whatever they give us at the table. They give us the crumbs at the table. And we're so anxious to have them accept us. We just accept whatever they give us. And sometimes we even beg people to support us, you know, and then we beg people to pray for us. You know, when you're in the right place at the right time, all of those needs will be met. And that's what I'm saying. When I say, sis, find your door, don't end up in places where you're always begging. Hey, Kinsley, where you're always begging for those basic things that you deserve. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be accepted. You deserve to be supported. And you deserve to be prayed for by people that love you and that only mean you good. You know, so if you're doing any of these things in the situation at the door where you're standing right now, and the crowd of people that you deal with, then you're at the wrong door, sis. God has a better place for you, but you got to be willing to move away from what's familiar. And just know that people will reject you. And sometimes it has nothing to do with you. Sometimes it's because they can't handle the God in you. You know, I've had times where people don't even like me, and I've never done anything to them. They don't like me because I'm happy. They don't like me because I smile. They don't like me because when I come around, we joke and we have a good time. And I had to learn to not allow that to define me, because people have their own issues. that doesn't mean it has to be my issue. As long as I know that when I come to the table, I bring kindness, I bring love, I bring joy, I bring peace, how people feel about me is not my concern. And just know, because they reject you, it doesn't erase the fact that God accepts you. And you have to get that down in your spirit, that people have stuff that they're dealing with. People have baggage. And so you can't allow people that can't even unpack their own bags to decide who you are. You know, that's why it's so important that you get in your word, that you get your relationship right with God, so that you will always hear his voice. His voice will be bigger. It'll be bigger than what the world says. And it took me a long time to get there. So it's not something that's easy, but it is something that can happen. And just remember, when you're at the right door, you won't have to make yourself small so other people don't feel intimidated, so other people don't feel insecure. If people are insecure and intimidated and always cutting you off, never want to hear about the good things in your life, always playing down all the times that you win, and always say, oh, I saw your little podcast, oh, I saw your little this, and do the little claps for you, those are not your people. Understand, when people genuinely love you and want to see you do your best and they want to see you shine, you'll know the difference. You'll know the difference. You'll feel the difference. And just know that God's acceptance has nothing to do with how you look. So you don't have to be the most beautiful person in the world, the most handsome person in the world. You don't have to be small. You don't have to have a certain hair color or eye color to be accepted by God. God doesn't worry about that. God looks at the heart. And just understand that the opinions of others do not define you. And until you get that down in your spirit, until you understand, until you can quiet the voices of other people. You know, I used to not be able to quiet the voices of other people. I used to take to heart. I used to cry. I used to feel sad because other people wanted to tell me what I was not. But God had already told me who I was, but it seems like I was hearing so much from other people, and people always try to compare you to somebody else. You know, that's a trick of the enemy, when he wants you to look at somebody and wish for what they have. You know, I stopped doing that a long time ago because people don't know the cost of the alabaster, of that oil. Nobody understands the cost of the oil for the people that are in the positions where they are, the people that are doing the things that maybe you want to do. You don't know. Hey, Karen, you have no idea what it costs them to get there. So I stopped wanting what somebody else has because I don't know if I can pay the cost. I don't know if I can go through what she went through. I don't know if I could withstand what she withstood. So I've learned to ask God to keep me in my own lane. Help me keep my eyes on my own paper. You know, sometimes I ask God to give me tunnel vision, especially when there's too much noise around me. I'm like, God, get my focus right. I feel like I'm off. I'm off because I'm looking to the left and I'm looking to the right. So God, give me tunnel vision for a little while and help me focus on the things that I need to focus on so that I can get to my door, get to my set place where you want me to be. And understand that you can't get discouraged when people overlook you. People are going to overlook you, sometimes out of jealousy. Sometimes people just got so much of their own stuff going on, they don't really have time to pay attention to what God is showing them. Sometimes people will miss out on you, the blessing, because they're too busy dealing with distractions. I know I probably have missed out on some blessings in my younger days because of all the drama I was dealing with. So now I have to pray to God, God, help me not to miss anything that you have for me. Help me to understand that those things are going to be what they are. Figure out how you got yourself in it. Acknowledge where I went wrong, how I allowed myself to get in that situation, and now I strategize on how to get out of it. I don't stay in bad situations anymore. Matter of fact, I'm very cautious about what I get into, who I deal with, who I hang around with, where I go, because I understand that my actions have consequences. And even though my children are grown, I've always wanted my boys to have a mother that had a good reputation. That was so important to me simply because of childhood things I dealt with. But I always wanted my boys to be proud of me. I always wanted my boys to say, yeah, that's my mom. You know, they say, oh, are you Karen's son? Yes, ma'am. You know, I want them to have a smile on their face when people ask them if they're my child. So those things are very important to me. And those are the things that God knew was in my heart. Hey, Wendy. And so God helped me to navigate, even in my younger years when I didn't know a lot. In my younger years when I was really gullible to a lot of things and a lot of people. I can honestly say a lot of people got over on me when I was younger because I was eager, I was trusting, I was desiring love in all the wrong places. That's a whole nother topic. But I desired love from people who didn't know how to love because they really didn't love themselves. And I had to learn that, you know, to not be bitter about who didn't love me correctly. Because when God starts revealing to you why that person acted like they did, and God starts showing you, you know, what's in their bloodline, showing you, you know, how they interacted with family members and how they handle certain situations, how things upset them, the smallest things upset them, it's because they weren't healed. And I can forgive a person that's not healed because I know what it's like to be walking with a Band-Aid on when I should have been getting somewhere, sitting down, getting my relationship right with God and getting my healing. So I know what it's like to walk around with a Band-Aid on, pretending that I was doing okay, pretending that I had it all together. So I haven't forgotten where I came from, and that's why God has allowed me to forgive people who didn't know how to love me. I didn't even know how to love me, so how could I expect them to do so? And then understand, while you're looking for your door, you're not confused. You're not lost. You're just standing at the wrong door. You know, sometimes we like to be at the doors that are familiar because it's scary to step out and do something that nobody else is doing. It's scary to step out and be with a different group of people that aren't the people you're used to being around. That is that unfamiliar. And it's so much easier to do the familiar things and be stuck than it is to do the unfamiliar and open your life up to the possibilities. So what I would like for you guys to do, just when you have time, whenever you find yourself being pulled back to the familiar, I want you to start speaking over yourself. Hey, Christia, I want you to start speaking over yourself. You know, speak positive things over yourself. Speak what you want to see over yourself. And I've got a 7-second affirmation that I want you guys to think about using in your day when you get those moments to have to yourself. Remind yourself, I am in the season of acceleration. I'm in a season of favor. I'm in a season of multiplied blessings. I am in a season of undeniable alignment under grace. And I am in a season that is in perfect time. I am free and nothing